We'll go on and talk about simplifying rational expressions next. And by simplifying, we essentially mean canceling common factors. Let's review how this works. So suppose I want to simplify 15 over 65, 15 65ths. Now, there's a shortcut that we will say is okay to use, but let me go through the reasoning behind the shortcut, because people make a lot of mistakes when they're canceling in fractions, and I believe that understanding what you're doing will help you avoid mistakes. So first of all, remember we said we simplify fractions by canceling common factors. So you have to have factors in order to cancel. So I'm going to go ahead and factor 15. That factors as 3 times 5. 65 factors as 13 times 5. And now let me point out that because of the way fraction multiplication works, this is equals. It's the same thing as saying I have 3/13 times 5/5, right? Because when you multiply fractions, you just multiply straight across. And what is 5/5? Well, 5/5 is just the number 1. And what happens when I multiply by 1? What happens when I specifically multiply 3/13 by 1? Yeah, nothing happens. I just get 3/13 back. Now, so I'm perfectly well aware that the way we tend to do this is, you know, if you notice 5 goes into both of these, you do a slashy thing like that and say I get a 3 there and a 13 there, and so you say your answer is 3/13. And that's fine. I have nothing against that. That's how I do this too. But again, people do this wrongly all the time, and so I'm really hoping that if we understand the steps, the reasoning behind being able to do that, that'll help keep us from making mistakes. Okay, so first of all, remember, we need to have factors. Now, the numerator actually is already factored. X plus 2 squared means x plus 2 times x plus 2. So this is just a shorthand way of writing this factorization. X squared minus 4, though, is not factored. That factors as x minus 2, x plus 2. Okay, and then so that's the fact that we need factors to use our procedure. Then the way fraction multiplication works is that I can say, well, this would be the answer to the multiplication problem, x plus 2 over x minus 2 times x plus 2 over x plus 2. So this is just, again, the fraction multiplication, how it works, except we're sort of unmultiplying this time. And then is the fact that x plus 2 over x minus 2, or sorry, x plus 2 over x plus 2 is just a 1. That's because anything over itself is a 1. And then last, multiplying by 1 doesn't do anything. It leaves the identity of what you've got exactly the same. Again, that was called the identity property. Now, there is a more streamlined way of canceling with rational expressions too. We will need to do the step of factoring, but it'll be okay to just cross out the common factors. Just make sure that you do have factors and that you understand these other steps. Now, before we go on and practice with simplifying fractions without, you know, we're not going to write all these steps all the time. But before we go on and do that, I would like you, please, to do just 2 problems using the above procedure. Okay, so in other words, please show all 4 steps. You don't need to write out the justification like identity property or whatever, but do show all 4 steps for me. Just on these two problems, and then after that I'll leave you alone and let you do the shortcut way. But I really, really want you to understand this because I really, really, really believe it will help you. Okay, so I'll stop there and we'll come back and I'll show you all, we'll go over all 4 steps together at the beginning of the next video.